Good evening and apologies, we are having some technical difficulties this evening, but let's start with news that hundreds of jobs could be under threat in North Devon as shipbuilder Babcock considers whether to close its dockyard at Appledore.
There are fears there aren't enough contracts to sustain the base. Currently, engineers are being transported from there to work on ships at Devonport Dockyard in Plymouth.
Well, its future is expected to be decided at a board meeting next month. For more on this, Richard Lawrence is live at the shipyard. Well, the speculation around the future of the shipyard was discussed at Defence Questions in the House of Commons this afternoon. Ministers say that they hope Babcock will take part in competition for work from overseas and here in the UK. The minister in charge of buying defence equipment said this approach is part of the government's shipbuilding strategy, which is designed to support UK shipyards.
And that was the MP for North Devon, Peter Heaton-Jones there. Let's turn to other news in the region this evening now. And a large fire which completely destroyed the roof of a warehouse in Newton Abbot was started deliberately. That's according to Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service. Up to 50.
The organisers of the Lou Saves the Day festival have been given a special award to mark their efforts in organising the event at such short notice. Next tonight, towns and villages on Exmoor fear they may be snowed in this winter after the council cut the number of roads it's planning to grit to save money.
Well, this year. And that is the scenario potentially for motorists. Meanwhile, NHS bosses in Devon say that they are bracing themselves for another busy winter, with hospital admissions expected to spike as the weather turns cold.
Well, health trusts have drawn up detailed plans for the coming months, diverting patients away from packed A&E departments and offering online consultations with local GPs.
Well, Sam Blackledge is outside Derriford Hospital in Plymouth for us tonight. So, Sam, just how prepared are hospitals and GP surgeries for this coming winter then?
And Sam, today health campaigners from Cornwall have been lobbying the government for more money. Just explain a bit more about that to us.
Now you are watching ITV News here in the West Country with Carly and Jonty. Thanks very much for your company this evening. There's still plenty more to come before 6:30.
And after us, the ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Mary Nightingale has the details.
For next on our programme, we're going to tell you about a driving challenge where the winner isn't the first across the finish line, but the one who uses the least fuel.
Earlier this year, a garage in Woolacombe was found to have the most expensive fuel in the country. Well, now to try to make cars more economical, teams of motorists have been competing at the MPG Marathon to see who can use the least fuel. Matt Price has this report.
Always harder than you think, isn't it, getting your MPG up? Anyway, sport now. Carrie's joined us in the studio. Carrie, we're going to talk about football because poor old Argyle, their miserable run is continuing, isn't it?
Yes, Jonty, that's right. It really is. Manager Derek Adams was booed off the pitch by some fans after the Pilgrims' 3-2 defeat to Burton at Home Park. Argyle have picked up just one win from their 14 league games this season. They sit bottom of the table and the calls for Adams to go are getting louder. Here's what a few fans had to say after their latest defeat. There was more disappointment for Yeovil ladies in the Women's Super League, who so far have failed to get a single point on the board this term. They took on West. Well, congratulations to them. I'm sure they were pretty sore for a few days afterwards. Well, elsewhere in the Championship, Cornish Pirates. And that's your sport. Of course, we'd love you to get in touch with us. You can just send your videos in to westcountryfans@itv.com.
Yeah, they're always good viewing, aren't they? Carrie, thanks very much indeed.
Now, comedian and Exeter City trustee Adrian Edmondson is embarking on a stage show with his former Young Ones star, Nigel Planer.
Yeah, the actor now lives in Chagford with his wife and fellow comic strip star Jennifer Saunders. I caught up with him to discuss everything from supporting the Grecians to growing vegetables.
Was that an invite?
There you go. Dinner invite with Ade Edmondson and Jennifer Saunders as well.
Definitely.
Don't say I don't do anything for you. There you go. Right, let's talk about the weather now. Charlie's joined us in the studio. I walked the dogs this morning and it was the first time I've kind of walked out the door and gone, do you know what, it's a bit chilly.
Need a decent coat.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not that high, is it? But anyway, it's a top spot. But yes, the sunshine was out.
Charlie, thank you very much. Now, just before we go, here's a reminder of the main headline in the West Country this evening. Hundreds of jobs could...
That brings us to the close of this evening's programme, so it's goodbye from all of us. I will, though, have the late news for you at the usual time of 10:30.
And now I'll hand you to Mary Nightingale as the ITV News continues. From everyone here, enjoy your evening. We'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Bye-bye.